So the last lineup of products that we'll discuss today is the Triad brand of products. This is a complete raised floor structure and components platform. The cement-filled platforms, or panels I should say, the stringers, the pedestals, the stanchions, the screws, the putty, everything that you would need to actually build, construct, redesign, or even build new a flooring structure we can help with. Obviously, the performance panels I'll touch on here in just a minute, as well as some of the others, are a part of that overall strategy. But Triad was purchased by RLE for a bigger vision, not just the flooring structure, but what we can do with it in the future. And what we've already developed, as I've talked about the Wing Manager, we'll touch on a little bit of some patent pending ideas that we're going to be bringing to the market, really to help deliver underfloor monitoring into the marketplace.
So how did Triad really get started? Mainly due to the need for improved airflow inside of the raised floor data center market. The focus was really to maximize the heat transfer of an IT rack by improving the airflow from the floor to the rack inlet. The design that's been patented delivers 2 to 3 times more airflow than a traditional solution, allowing fewer perforated panels, lower plenum pressure, as well as fits into shallow plenums as well.
In the modern data center, floor tiles play a critical role in moving air through the subfloor plenum and dispersing it where it's needed in the crowded IT rack environment. The problem is simple. Servers and data equipment are often exceeding the recommended air inlet temperatures set by the ASHRAE standards body for recommended server inlet temperatures. In a typical raised floor data center, the computer room air conditioning unit, or CRAC unit, generates cool air. But surprisingly little of that air actually passes through the standard flat-bottom perforated floor tile. Often there is enough cool air, but due to its higher density, it tends to pool near the subfloor plenum. We refer to this as the lake effect. As rack inlet temperatures continue to rise near the bottom of the rack, the server fans begin to ramp up, increasing overall energy consumption. Alternatives such as increasing plenum supply pressure also drive up overall cost of energy to operate the data center by driving the existing fans harder or adding additional crack capacity.
So here might be another way to show the diagram, but ultimately when air gets pushed up from the underfloor up, the goal is to stratify that air into the data center cabinet so that it creates more effective and efficient cooling from 3 feet to 7 feet. If you're just pushing air up into the space, you're really wasting your energy because you're mixing hot air with cold air to cool the whole space, not directionally. What you're trying to cool is the data cabinet because of all those servers and the expense of the servers and the uptime requirements and all of that. So over a period of time, we believe that you ought to see a pretty significant return on investment and a reduction in overall energy costs and reduction in overall fan energy because of the way that we're effectively cooling that space compared to our competition.
So a lot of existing raised floor cooling systems leverage standard laminar flow vented tiles. It has a lower heat transfer property due to the bypassing of the server racks within a cold aisle, so suppliers will often stress increasing the static pressure. But if you do that, you're wasting fan energy and cooling energy to increase the CFM inside of that space. Given what all data centers are trying to accomplish is reduce that energy consumption and lower their PUE because they're already using plenty of energy. So the way our performance panels work is leveraging a turbulent flow technology in the cold aisles to enhance the heat transfer. So we're going to slow the air down and help distribute it in 360 degrees, requiring less supply volume. Lowering that supply air velocity also allows the servers to pull airflow into the servers with less fan energy. Studies have shown a decrease in cooling costs by up to 30% leveraging our panels.
So these performance panels I've mentioned a couple times are built with a stratification fin on the bottom. They're also patented with handles for easy installation and moving. They're also available with dampers to more precisely control the airflow. They come standard with a 1,500 pound weight rating. The slotted can go up to 4,000 pounds and the chamfer tile can get up to 5,000 pounds. As data cabinets are getting heavier and larger, as well as the forklifts and everything else that's rolling on them, sometimes those heavier weight ratings are a requirement. Certainly that's an area where we can help. The aluminum grate is also something that we can help with, which is basically just putting a grate on the floor, which is allowing air to flow up. There is no directional fin, so the weight rating that's standard on that is a 1250 pound weight rating only. As I shared with you, we do carry a whole line of floor structure and options. So one of the other neat products that are available under the Triad brand is the Clearview panel. Do sell a bunch of these with folks that are looking for visibility under the floor. So these are good for wanting to have some eyes on the cable management, maybe some chilled water valves. There's a power junction, or you just want to be cool and have a blue LED glow under the floor or a different color to really emphasize what a great space you have there in that data center. Another area that we are able to help accommodate some of those complex floor layouts is a hybrid floor panel, which is going to give you the ability to have half of a kind of a slotted type of a grate on one end and a standard on the other, which is going to be good for really a shared load versus an airflow requirement based on the size of the space. Another area where we can help our customers is with blanking panels. We've talked a lot about airflow and how it flows through the server inlets in the data cabinet. If you're mixing the hot air and the cold air and not parsing that out, you're really ineffectively cooling that space. So putting blanking panels in your data cabinets is something we generally would recommend. Underfloor baffling is also an area where we can go ahead and section off certain areas of an underfloor so that you're not wasting all that cooling in areas that don't require it and focusing it on the areas that are heavily populated. So this prevents loss of cooling and airflow into those unused portions of the data center.
So making a long story short, certainly thank you for your time today. RLE is certainly excited to have the partner network that we have and bring in the products that we bring to the marketplace, really to help solve some of those problems that exist without overcomplicating anything and being affordable as well. So, with the Seahawk leak detection, identifying and proactively preventing catastrophes with the leak detection, the Falcon monitoring, which is going to be both wired and wireless, connecting data for aggregation or monitoring, has a lot of capabilities to really create simplified intelligence. The Raptor is a line that is again going to help to connect building data and systems in a fashion that's again more simplified, as well as the Triad brand of products, helping to stabilize the floor structure as well as ensure the proper airflow into those spaces are being achieved. So this wraps up our presentation here with RLE Technologies and Cochrane. So thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay cool.